Hi, I'm Carrie. I'm part of the core CCI team, and today I'm going to be interviewing the director of our Creative Consciousness Academy, Kirti Carr. So we're going to be discussing the consciousness coach training. So with the rise of the need, the demand for coaching, obviously there's a lot more people that want to go into coaching and embark on a coaching career. And there are a lot of organisations out there that now offer coach training. And it can be quite tricky to know which one is right for you. And it is a very personal thing. So it's important to do a lot of research and to really find which one connects with you and speaks to your heart as well as your mind. So during this video, we're going to be covering the philosophy of creative consciousness coaching, our methodology, how we support you throughout the whole process, how we support you after the process. We'll go into specifics around what makes consciousness coaching different to kind of the standard coaching qualifications that you will find out there. So to introduce Kirti Carr, Kirti is a pretty remarkable woman. She has been working in the field of personal transformation for over 20 years now. And as mentioned at the beginning of the video, she is the director of our CC Academy. So she delivers coach training, she delivers trainer training. She also ensures that all of our course material is up to date and that we are aligned with the requirements for the ICF and the ACTP. Kirti also runs her own leadership business, so focusing on both coaching and training individuals and corporations in Africa. She's an extremely busy woman, so we are lucky that she's taking the time to speak to us today. And here we go. Hi, Kirti, how are you?
Fabulous. And you, Carrie?
Yeah, doing really well, thank you. Really excited to talk to you today.
Me too. Love talking about what I'm passionate about. So
wonderful,
this is
wonderful. Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing it. So today we're going to delve into our coach training program. Okay.
Great. Where shall we start?
Okay, so I think let's start with, because I think, you know, amongst our audience, we're going to have people that are definitely set on being a coach and they've done lots of research and this is part of their research. Or we could be speaking to people that they are very early on and they're not even sure if coach training is for them, but it's something that has piqued their interest. So I think it's good for us to kind of have a conversation initially around who coaching is for.
Okay. Well, coaching is quite a buzzword. Yes. It is a career that is definitely on the increase. A lot of people are looking into coaching, and the new trend in the business world certainly is either to have a coach, be coached, or to add coaching to your portfolio of skill, yeah, which created a market demand for coaching and for coaches. So there are also various niche markets. So you have people who have a particular skill and want to expand their business. So they go into coaching and bring in coaching as a flavor to their existing business. So who coaching is for anyone who would like to expand their communication ability, so to master communication, to expand leadership, to who wants to manage and lead people, empower people, make a difference in the world. Anybody who's looking to create a career out of coaching itself. The thing about Creative Consciousness International's coaching program is that it's not just about the profession coaching. Our program is designed that it would support anyone who wants to improve their relationship and their communication, whether it's with a spouse, a child, a friend, a parent, as a teacher, as a leader. It certainly will sharpen and hone all those communication skills. So coaching is for anybody really who is looking to expand their ability to communicate and relate with others in the world. And definitely it is for those who want to become coaches.
Yeah.
And the coach training is designed and structured in a way that allows you to join the program, get all of that skill and ability without necessarily having to complete the exam and become a qualified diploma coach. So you can join the program if you want to expand your leadership skills, for example, bring coaching as a way of interacting with people. You do the standard program, and then if you do want to become a qualified coach, you just purchase the exam component, which allows you to go forward into that particular qualification.
So let me stop you for a moment there. So are you saying that we can do two separate parts of the coach training? So you can do the training without actually going on to do the qualification at the end. Is that correct?
Correct. So not everyone who does the training chooses to qualify as a diploma coach. Some people choose to do the training simply because the training equips you with the skills, the ability to relate to somebody or lead your team or manage people, or even just to improve your communication with your children using a coaching style.
Okay. And do you have a lot of people coming through the CC training that aren't looking to become professional coaches?
Yeah, and especially business leaders. A lot of leaders are looking to really get familiar with coaching methodology and coaching skills like active listening and creating rapport and connection, etc. So they're looking for those skills without necessarily needing the qualification. They're not, generally the qualification is sought out by people who want to become qualified coaches and look to coaching as a profession, whether it's within their business or as a new business or new career. They will tend to go towards the actual qualification, the diploma, the exam, etc. Most people who do it and don't do the exam are doing it for the expansive value that it has.
Okay, wonderful. So some examples of the types of people that you have coming through the coach training. So you're talking about business leaders. Do you have a lot of entrepreneurs? Do you have a lot of human resource managers and people like that?
Yeah, so you're looking at entrepreneurs for sure. You're looking at also a lot of moms come because they want to improve their communication with their partners and their kids. We've also had youngsters, so people who are some in high school still looking to the possibility of coaching as a career. Also to support from a transformational perspective and gain clarity. We've had people who are currently in corporate jobs and planning to supplement their income with an entrepreneurial business, and coaching was something that came up. We've had people who are looking to become coaches in their retirement. We have people who are mentors and want to expand that skill into coaching. So it really is for anyone. It doesn't matter what color, what age, what profession, where you live, what you're doing. If you're passionate about interacting with people in a way that inspires people and empowers people and allows for connection, a deeper connection and rapport, then coaching is for you.
Wonderful. So it seems like anyone can benefit from doing the coach training.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Fab. So then that's the coach training. But then to go a little bit deeper, who is coaching for? So obviously, if somebody comes through the coach training and then they're also looking for their clients afterwards, why do we need coaching? Like, who needs coaching and why do we need it?
Yeah, great question. So let's just first look at what is coaching. Yeah, so to really get who coaching is for, it's important to understand what coaching is. And a lot of people think they know what coaching is and mistake coaching and mentoring to be the same thing. The coach definitely isn't somebody who's going to come along and wave a wand and solve all your problems for you, or create the next big thing for you. That's not what coaches do. Coaches support people to do that for themselves. So coaching is a way of interacting, a way of relating, a way of communicating, a way of just getting close to another person, being there, supporting them on a journey. But the interaction is done in a way that allows that person to step into their potential, to connect to a possibility that they didn't see before, to step into confidence, and also to expand into areas that they were too afraid to step into. Coaching is a way of interacting with someone that supports them to see what stands in their way, step into the courage that they have to tackle those things, and to have the clarity to create whatever it is they choose to create. So connecting to possibilities, stepping out of your comfort zone, and it's just journeying together to do that. So who is coaching for? It's for anyone who feels stuck, anyone who doesn't have clarity on the next step in their lives, or a direction that they need to take, or what career they want to get into, or how they want to do something, where they want to live, how they want to retire. So it's really to get you unstuck, to gain clarity. Also, it's for anyone who's looking to expand and grow. It will support you to set goals that are a stretch. It will support you to achieve dreams. It will support you to realize visions. It will support you to dare and risk yourself in your life, so that, and I love this because this is what I get to see as a trainer, so that you come alive in your life. You're no longer just living life on automatic pilot.
Mm-hmm.
You are really active and alive in your life.
Yeah, which is what we all want at the end of the day, hopefully.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Coach training for everyone, and coaching is for everyone.
Yeah, and I think that that's a really important distinction that you made at the beginning, is that coaches aren't here to provide the answers, they're here to help you provide the answers. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. They're here to help you see that you have the answers within anyway.
Yes. And so to expand on that a little bit, the difference between coaching and therapy, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, so therapy, and the ICF, the International Coach Federation, is very clear on the definitions and the differences between all of these things. Therapy, you are really looking at dealing with traumas and things of the past, unpacking them, dealing with the pain, dealing with the relationships, and it's very much focused in the past, what has happened in the past and how that's impacted you. Obviously impacting you in the present, perhaps even.
Yeah.
Coaching is about where you're at, where you want to be, how you're going to get there, what you're going to do to get there, what's standing in your way. And it's really about getting into action of creating what it is you want in your life.
Okay.
So there is definitely a place for therapy and coaching.
Mm-hmm. Because you need to look to the past to figure out what's getting in your way so you can move into the future. Yeah,
absolutely. Sometimes what has happened in the past is the obstacle to your future, and therapy could support you with that.
Yeah. Okay, because I've also, in the conversations that I've had around coaching and therapy and this whole kind of space, I think there's some people that are a little bit resistant to coaching because, again, they think that they're going to come into a room and someone's going to say, so how was your relationship with your dad? And then draw all of these conclusions and try and get you to break down and be in tears in every session. Which is not an informed opinion at all, but unfortunately it's I think quite a widely shared opinion. And I think that that's really important, to kind of make the distinction that coaching is about the future, and it's about taking action, and it's not just about unpicking everything that happened to you in your past.
Exactly. And coaching, when somebody is asked, or coaching is suggested or recommended, it doesn't mean there is something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you need fixing. That's not what coaching is about. Definitely not. It's not about, let's see what is stopping you and preventing you from being your greater self. It's about, okay, what is it that you want to be? Who is it that you are when you are your potential? And yeah, sure, we are going to look at what's standing in your way, and fears may surface, because this is also very important. Creative consciousness and consciousness coaching is based on a methodology that looks at the root belief system of an individual. Because often, and this is in all of the books and all of the videos at the moment, Joe Dispenza's talking about it, Greg Braden's talking about it, that our belief systems determine our reality. And our belief systems are acquired over a lengthy period of living. But we're not always aware of them, and we're not always aware of how they limit us or how they impact our choices or our lives. And the beauty of consciousness coaching is that there are two main things that distinguish us from other coaching systems that impact the space. One is operating in consciousness, so expanding your time and space in consciousness so that you are acting from consciousness and you're not limited to the mind, limited to your belief systems, limited to your experience. The second is increasing awareness. So the more self-aware you become, the more you start shifting from the limitation of options into possibility and choices, which then connect you in consciousness. Yeah. So when you start shifting on the level of belief system, when you start shifting on that root core level, then your life starts shifting. Unless you have shifted on that level, you are dealing with somebody on a very superficial level, and those results are not sustainable. It's when things are shifted on a core level that results become sustainable, that people start seeing a difference, because now you are no longer on that hamster wheel. You're no longer living life as you always did based on the belief systems that you've had. You've expanded your view into what else is. And that's where business coaching is really powerful.
Wonderful. And that leads us nicely actually into my next question, and you kind of covered it a little bit there, Kirti. It's what is this philosophy of consciousness coaching, and what makes this different from other coaching?
So there's a number of things that make us different. The first and foremost is the foundational core structure principle that our work is based on, and that is that all external changes are as a result of internal changes. So if you want your life to shift out there, you need to look at what inside needs to shift to match and create that external reality. To do that, and to be able to provide a space for that, as a coach, you need to have gone there. So our work is based on its transformational power. The process and the whole journey to become a coach begins with Conscious Living 1. And Conscious Living 1 is a 4-day training in which the student coach undergoes a personal transformation process. So you get to experience firsthand all of the awarenesses that you can then create in your coaching process for another. The journey doesn't stop there for the coach. The whole program is designed in a way that allows the coach to constantly assess and reassess where the coach is at, and continually grow and expand as a coach. In terms of coaching, the coach has two principles to stand on. One is the doing of coaching, and the other is being. So obviously the transformational value comes into the being, who the coach is being in the coaching process. And this is where the program and the transformational value impacts the coach being. Yeah. Coach doing is something that all coach programs are going to give you. The basics, how to lead somebody in conversation, how to ask questions. These are basic skills that are required, and you'll find them in all the coaching programs. They have to be there because you have to be able to do coaching. The value that we bring is in who the coach is being. So that's the first thing, is the transformational value in who the coach is in that process.
Okay, so you must be, if you're going to undertake the consciousness coaching training, then you need to be willing to face yourself. You need to be willing to do your work yourself. So you're not just going to come in, learn the tools and then leave. It's also a big process for you as an individual.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So all of our trainers, all of our coaches are on a journey and a full commitment towards their personal transformation. So pretty much walking the talk. We have a code that our trainers align to, and it's a journey. The transformation never stops, but it definitely is something that you have to be committed and willing to do, is look at yourself.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing is that we bring in consciousness, and we bring in the ability to operate in consciousness, meaning shifting from reacting to circumstances and being stuck in change to creation. So shifting into creation. So to do that, you obviously need self-awareness and you need awareness. So there's a huge process of awareness creation and expansion through our coaching. So in every session, the client is introduced to a new awareness, which creates an expansion for the client. And that is,
what would be an example of an awareness? So if the people watching are kind of not quite sure what that is, could you give us an example?
Yeah, a beautiful one that I love and is one of my favorites is the power of language, of our word, and how we are trained to use language simply for communication, but we're very unconscious of the language that we use. And often in the language used, there is so much that you can gauge about a person. For example, if your client is saying, yeah, I think I will try that. That's a good idea. I think I will try that. There are two key words in that suggest that the person isn't really confident that they can do it. And that is, they think and they try. So getting the distinction of the power of your word and how language can be used powerfully to activate you in action of your goals is a great awareness.
Yeah.
And being able, when you are not committed simply by observing your language.
Okay, that's clear. That's a good example. Thank you. Okay, and then so if we could go on to a little bit more detail about the methodology. So obviously you've talked about the two foundational things, and they form the basis of the coach training and also a lot of the CCI trainings. So what is the methodology? How do you approach helping someone to become that qualified coach at the end of it?
Okay, so the methodology is, there are 4 modules. Each module is a 4-day module. They're all classroom based, and it starts with Conscious Living 1. The Conscious Living 1 doesn't have to be the first module that you complete. You can do it within the journey at any point in time. So Conscious Living 1, as I said, is the transformational value. So it supports you as the coach to develop your coach being and become aware of your stuff, who you are not, what are the masks, etc., etc. Great module, Conscious Living 1. From there, you have 3 coach training. These are modules specific to coach training. The conscious living one can be done by anyone. It's not specific to coach training. It's our transformational door, if you want to call it that. The first module in the coach training program is called Coaching Basics. And here you get introduced to the basic communication skills that are required in coaching, powerful questions, getting, listening, etc. Our methodology involves developing your skills in doing. And for that, we have a logbook. We have protocols that the coach students introduced to. Very simple structure to follow, which gives you a framework within which to do coaching. Each module also has exercises, practical exercises, transformational exercises, like presentations up front. We do exercises where we pair up. We do group exercises. There's homework. There's exercises you've got to do at night. There's exercises you need to do with your peers between modules. So that allows the student to experience a lot of what they are receiving theoretically, also to put things into practice. And that then supports the development of the being of the student. So from Coaching Basics, where you are introduced to that, we move into Coaching Expertise, where we start taking it to the next level. We start introducing the awareness creations. We teach you how, as a coach, to get into the presence of what it is you want to impart in your session. How to also create space for your clients and how to connect from your heart space. So these are a lot of things we take for granted that we do in life until we actually are in an exercise and then suddenly realize, oh my gosh, is that what connection feels like? You know, so it's a beautiful experiential process. Coaching Expertise takes that to the next level. We also do a lot of observed coaching sessions in the classroom sessions where students get an opportunity to coach up front, and they will get feedback in real time from the lead trainer or an experienced trainer. And then we move into the third module. All these modules are 4 days each. The third module is Coaching Excellence, where we really wrap it all up. We support the coach to see how they can support their clients with completion. We take them through the final awareness creations, and we go through what is required for the exam. In module 2 and 3, we also go into a lot of detail around the ICF Code of Ethics and the ICF Core Competencies. Our program is an accredited coach training program with ICF, so it is fully aligned with their requirements, and it is one of the highest coach training accreditations you can get as a program.
Okay, and yeah, so one of my questions was going to be, what is ICF ACTP? You've obviously kind of covered it a little bit here. Is this an accreditation that you can take anywhere in the world? Is it recognized globally? Like, can you operate as a coach anywhere with this accreditation? Your name?
Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. So the ICF is the International Coach Federation. That's what ICF stands for. It's an international body. Coaching as a profession isn't regulated. So it's important that there is some recognized accredited body or accrediting body associated with programs. So if you're looking for a coaching program, it's any program that is accredited by the ICF or Comensa in South Africa, aligns with a professional body and professional requirements. So there are standards in place. ACTP is Accredited Coach Training Program. It is the highest accredited program offered in ICF. It allows you 125 plus hours towards your training. So yeah, our program is an ACTP, has been for a while. You know, Mark spent over 30 years refining the methodology and the structure of our training. So a lot of work has gone into the creating the protocol and the methodology and the model.
Okay, and to touch on that, so for those of you who aren't familiar with CCI, Mark Steinberg is our founder and master teacher, and with the coach training program, has he developed this over a period of time, and he is kind of the source of all material, or have other people contributed to the training? Can I have a little bit of history on the development?
Yeah. No, absolutely. So Mark is a master coach, ICF accredited master coach. He also started the chapter in Cape Town in South Africa, ICF chapter. He was chairman. He has developed the program, as I said, over a period of 25 to 30 years, refining it. In fact, at the end of 2017, he did a major overhaul and had a look at exactly what he thought was the most effective and efficient way to impart what is required to become a professional coach. The program has over 500 graduates have gone through the program. We have qualified coaches that are on MCC, so master coach level. We have, that means they have the ICF Credential, master coach, ICF Credential, professional certified coach, PCC. And these are definitely credentials to be proud of. In terms of the protocol, he revisits it annually to make sure that it's relevant. And the beauty of Mark's work is it's based on universal principles, so very much relevant. Our methodology is a methodology that can be applied to any market, to any area. So the diploma also never expires. So once you're qualified and you have the diploma, that's it, you've got the diploma. Okay. You can be a diploma coach. The ICF recognizes our diploma. So once you've got the diploma, you can coach anywhere in the world with the diploma. Creative Consciousness Coaching Academy is international. So you can coach anywhere in the world. And you can then apply for your ICF credential because they will recognize your diploma and recognize you as a qualified coach. Of course, then you need to meet the ICF credential requirements. Each credential requires a certain practical component.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's separate from the CCT. So you get your diploma and then you have to, you're kind of on that journey as an individual rather than through CCI.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So then if you want to become a master coach, or you talked about a PCC, that's something that you then continue to do once you've completed the consciousness coaching training.
Yeah, absolutely. So Creative Consciousness Academy we have within our ACTP our own exam process. So there's a written exam, there's an oral exam. We also have observed coaching sessions where an assessor will give you feedback one-on-one after listening to a recording of your session. We have group mentor sessions. The group mentor sessions are compulsory as a student. You have to have completed 7 of them as of January 2020. In the past, it was fewer. But once you're qualified, as a qualified coach, you can attend these mentor coaching sessions for free. So there's ongoing support for you as a coach. Once you're qualified, then it's entirely up to you how you choose to use your coaching qualification. If you choose to go into entrepreneurial business and start your own business, whether you're taking it into an existing business or into your company, that's entirely up to you.
Okay, wonderful, great, that's clear. And then just to do a little bit of a rewind, so when we were talking about the methodology, obviously we all are very different, we're all unique, and we all have our own way of learning. And some people will respond very well to being sat in a classroom and just being given presentation after presentation, and the information goes in. Some people will be enable themselves to understand the information if they start doing it, if they start acting it, if they're actually doing something with movement. And do you address these different learning styles in the coach training? Because obviously you know, we need to make sure that we're catering for lots of different people. And how do you address that in the way of the coach training?
Absolutely. So all of our programs are underpinned by a process. So although it might sometimes look like you're in a lecture or in a workshop because there's somebody up front delivering a section, you're actually gently taken through a 4-day process. And in that process, there are various things that we do. There'll be times when we do deliver a particular awareness, but then there are exercises which support integration of that. Also, all of the content is designed to take you through a process. So the flow, the natural flow over the 4 days supports this process. The process involves various things. It involves one-on-one exercises. So, you know, with a trainer, getting feedback directly, example in a presentation up front. It involves exercises where you pair up. So there are videos that you can watch. So there's the visual input, there's the auditory input, there's a lot of practice, there's a lot of Q&A sessions, and there's a lot of feedback. So with the exercises, for example, when people are coaching in pairs or coaching up front, there's always feedback to support you to see where or what it is that you're still looking to integrate. So nobody's left behind. Evenings tend to be open-ended so that everybody is along on the journey and nobody's left behind.
Okay, wonderful. And for those people that go through the training and maybe they get to the end of module 3 or module 4, if you include Conscious Living 1, and there's a kind of general feeling amongst the trainers and also that individual that they are not ready to go on and become a coach. Because I'm sure this will happen, no matter how good the training is and how good it's delivered. I expect there will always be these cases where somebody isn't quite ready. And how would they then, so if they have invested a lot of time in this and they want to become a coach and then they realize that they're not ready, how does CCI support them on their journey moving forward?
Right. So at the end of the 4 modules, you've pretty much covered the theory and you've had enough exposure to the practical components to be able to practice on your own. Meaning to go out, there's a gradual build up. In module 1, you can start your being coached by a professional coach after module 1. And then you're looking also at, in your practice period between modules, practicing with a peer. So from that first coaching module, you will have a group of peers that form a pool from which you can practice at any point in time in the journey. And we encourage people to continue that practice even after they've completed the 3 modules. After the second module, you're encouraged to start practicing with continue with your peers and start looking at potential clients out there. By module 3, you should be in a flow of coaching people who are not peers so that you get more comfortable and more confident with coaching and the methodology. So there's a gradual build-up in expertise. But yes, people still get to exam point and go, oh, I don't know if this is for me. And that's the beauty of the entire process. I always say to people, you know, the exam process of becoming a coach is less about what you know and more about who you are. Because in that process, you get to see your relationship to failure. You get to see your relationship to commitment, your relationship to success, your relationship to yourself. What is your self-esteem? What is your self-value? Are you prepared to charge for your time? Do you see value in who you are? Do you see value in what you're able to offer? And all of these things start surfacing, which has value in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when people are not ready, it's often because they're listening to an inner voice that has governed them all of their lives. And that just becomes another opportunity for them to look at, what is my relationship to this inner critic? And the support that is available is in the mentor coaching sessions to bring that to the fore, in the observed coaching sessions, the feedback that you will get one-on-one. So there is a lot of exposure still in that process, in that build up to the exam, with qualified coaches and assessors.
Okay. And I think, you know, what you say about everything you discover during the process is of massive value. So if you come to the end and you actually decide that, okay, well, actually a coaching career is not for me, you have learned a lot about yourself that you'll be able to go out and discover what is for you. So if the coaching is not for you, then it isn't a waste of time, because you've discovered so much. Or it might be that you need to be working on a certain area, so maybe you can become a coach, but the time isn't right, and then it gives you an indication of where you need to do some more work.
Yeah. So for an example of this, so that people don't feel like you feel less than because you suddenly discover that coaching for you, it's as simple as this. You know, a lot of us human beings in general intrinsically want to help. We want to, and that's a nice thing, right? It's a nice thing to want to help people. So often we find a lot of students who come into coaching come in because they want to help, they want to make a difference. But in the conditioned way of helping, we often end up disempowering people, because we're so conditioned to giving advice. We're so conditioned to providing the answers. We're so conditioned, we're educated in a way where answers are key. Answers make you number one. Answers make you the best of the bunch. So coaching is just the opposite of that. It's not giving answers. It's staying and living in the question. It's looking at unknowns. It's not giving advice. It's resisting the urge to tell someone what to do. Now, that is often what becomes a quagmire at the end of the coach training, is being able to step out of needing to help and rescue somebody by giving them the answers and the advice, and sit back and hold the space and trust that the other person has the ability to help themselves, the ability to get there on their own. That all you need to do is sit there in that belief. Now, to be able to do that for somebody else, you need to be able to do that for yourself. Cool. And that's what that process helps you to do.
Yeah.
When you feel you're not ready, when you feel you can't do it, how you can shift yourself, coach yourself into a new possibility. Yeah. So yeah, and that's value.
That's very beautiful what you just said there. And I think that's probably, you know, a trap that a lot of coaches or anybody in this line of work can fall into, is thinking that they have to fix somebody, and that it's their job. You know, if you're charging 150 euros an hour, 2,000 euros an hour, whatever it is that you go out and you charge your clients, that you have to deliver them something tangible at the end of it, and it has to come from you. And that's a really nice thing that you said with regards to, actually you have to trust that they will come up with the answers, and you are just there, like we go back to what we said at the start, you are just there to guide people through that process. And so it's nice to hear that CCI prepares you for that, because I think I can imagine that that is a big thing for people, is understanding that they're not there to fix anyone, and that nobody is broken, and they are there to clean up any mess. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Okay, so I have a couple more questions for you here. So with regards to, we've just talked about if you come to the end and maybe you still need some support, what is the ongoing support that CCI offer the coaches? So once you've done your qualification and you go out there and you're qualified and you're ready to start coaching people, what's the interaction between CCI and the students, or now the qualified coaches?
Yeah, so we have a Facebook platform. There are a couple of groups actually that you can connect to, where you share, where you can ask questions. The mentor coaching sessions, as I said, are open indefinitely for you as a qualified coach. There's also a credential process within CCI, so you can, and there are other things that you can do with your qualification. You can expand and become an OCS assessor. You can assist on a coach training program that keeps you relevant, it keeps you in the space, it keeps you serving coaching as a profession.
So my next question is, do you have any success stories that you can share from people that have gone through the consciousness coach training?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've had women who are in their 50s or 60s come onto the training believing that they have no possibility of being anything other than the housewife or the mom that they've been, and have gone on to create successful coaching businesses. We've had youngsters come on and use the coaching to develop their entrepreneurial business. I started, I was in personal transformation work, and I thought coaching would be a great add-on. And I started the coaching process, started developing and becoming a coach, only to realize that my purpose lay in the training side of it. And I've just taken the coaching and the training into corporate. I've taken the consciousness work into corporate, and it's been wonderful to see the impact that it's had in business, something that wasn't happening in South Africa. So we've got two ladies who have come together. They're both master coaches, and they've created a very successful corporate coaching business. They've also created a lot of corporate trainings based on the coaching work and the coaching principles. We've got another lovely lady who's just, wow, she's gone from strength to strength with over 3,600 coaching hours behind her in 4 years. Turned it into a great entrepreneurial business. We've got a young gentleman in the Cape who is coaching in companies throughout, who have an African footprint throughout Africa. So certainly there are some major success stories. Yeah,
a lot of people doing well.
A lot of people doing well and helping others do well.
Exactly. So then we've covered how long it will take to complete the program, so we don't need to go into that. Well, we have mentioned actually that we do 4 modules. How long is that spread over? So if I wanted to start being a coach and I decided to sign up, how long would it be until I could actually start getting my own clients and actually applying everything that I'm learning?
Yeah, so the process is a minimum of 6 months, and on average between 6 and 9 months.
Okay.
But you have 24 months in which to complete the process. Okay. You can start getting your clients as a student practitioner, so as a coach practitioner, while you're still a student, after module 2. By module 2, you have enough in your toolkit to be able to coach somebody who's not in the process, so someone who's not a peer.
Okay, wonderful. So this has been great, and I have definitely expanded my knowledge on the coach training program, so thank you very much. And consciousness coaching sounds like it's a great tool for everybody and anybody, not just budding coaches, but to help people, create transformation in their own lives and in others, even if they don't embark on that as a career, which I think is wonderful. So it was really nice to talk about this. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. So do you have anything left to share? So for people out there who still are a bit undecided or don't really know if it's for them, do you have one last piece of advice that you can share with them?
Yeah. Consider this question. If you were to be the grandest version of the greatest vision of yourself, who would you be? And what's probably happening right now when you consider that question is you've got to actually sit back and think. That's the power of coaching. It takes you out of being an automatic pilot, doing things routine, or just being stuck in this box and living in the box. It gets you out of that, and it shows you a new way of living. It allows you to come alive to your life, and that is invaluable. Give yourself that. That's what coaching is. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirti. That's a great point to end on. So I have one last thing to share from our side, is that if we didn't cover anything, even though it's quite a comprehensive conversation, if you still have questions, or if you'd like to discuss your personal circumstances, then we offer a free consultation with one of our ambassadors. So please get in touch with us at info@creativeconsciousness.com. So thank you very much, Kirti. It was great to talk to you.
Thank you.
Okay, speak soon.